during COVID, it was really an exercise in the creativity in the crisis because every day was like opening a brand new restaurant. At that point, I was running four locations. And so I like to say that in the first 100 days, it was really like opening 400 restaurants because every day something would be different. We were a grocery store, a lending library, a takeout restaurant, delivery, and then we also did thousands upon thousands of meals for the health providers that were stuck in hospitals without anything to eat. I like to say that in New York City, really, restaurateurs, we are the living room of our communities. And in essence, people would come by La Palapa and just to see the normalcy of that and to see that we were still there, we were providing that alone was a service, that people had a place to go and something familiar, something that had not changed was so important. I would say the threefold major challenges right now. The first one I would say would be demographic. The people that there are some people that never came back. The people that have moved back have higher rents than they did when they left, and less disposable income. There are shifts in traffic patterns within the city that have changed. For example, the value of a location. You can have a location now where you're paying a very high rent, yet you're unable to put a shed out, which will be starting again in April, to do roadside seating.
Mm.
You may have a space that was, very small, but you were able to have a huge amount of roadside seating. So when you're thinking about the economic model in New York City, how many people, how many seats there are in restaurants, and that sort of economic balance, is still continuing. The adjustment to those changes is still continuing. There's still really a lack and a difficulty with the labor market. The Regardless of what the government and the city say is the minimum wage, the actual wage that is really the market value to have a great staff and to retain your staff is quite high, much higher than it was pre-pandemic. In addition,
Mm.
our employees, in a good way, are much more aware of the fact of that they should not work sick. So you do need to have enough employees to cover if someone is sick. And third, I would say like supply chain and costs. Definitely the costs of food, drinks. A lot of folks are complaining that even cocktail prices are very high in New York City. But the fact is that these are the true prices, and in a way, I liken it to the business model in that New York City is closer to a suburban business model than it used to be. It used to be that we would have a lot of
Mm.
uh, customers walking and a lot of customers that stayed out very late. And I think you have sort of the combination of a lot of factors. You have the combination of cannabis entering the market, which has changed how people socialize. So you have like a lot of demographic issues that still are not resolved. One of the trends is that folks are not staying out as late. Folks are not drinking as much. Uh, and also, when folks go out, especially groups of young people, they like to out in very large groups. So you get reservations for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 to the bar, which
Wow.
is a place that seats maybe 80. I'll have someone just emailing me, oh, well, we're 60 people. Can we come in? And I'm like, that would be great, but then no one else can come in. The other thing that changed a lot during the pandemic, which has started to ease up, is just how customers or guests behave in the restaurant. So I liken it to the fact that a lot of young people spent COVID, turning 21 and drinking White Claws in their parents' basement. So they come out after COVID, they go to the bars. They don't really know how to behave. They don't really know how to socialize. We kind of jokingly say that they're like bar toddlers. The prices are more realistic. Once you've gone through that, I say there's also, just like we don't know, there is an economic hole. Like it or not, there is an economic hole that was not filled. You have to price more realistically. And you're also pricing your rent because you're not going as late into the late night and so on and so forth. So what you have to charge is higher.